I was just talking about this with somebody that Phineas and the way we bounce off each other is so perfect in that Phineas is very like kind of almost mathematical in his like way of writing and producing, where it's like so clever and smart and pretty like within, like it's very structural. It's like structure based, and I am kind of all over the place. Like I'm a mess when I make something, and so together it's like the perfect amount of both, right? So we have like the really like, you know, when I write something, the structure is like, you know, what this is like this, and it's like, then it goes here, and then it goes here, and then this part doesn't rhyme with this, and it's still interesting. But then you mix that with Phineas's like ability to keep things really. He's like a genius. He's like a scientist, and I'm kind of like I don't know what you'd call me. I'm just like, I add the like almost chaos in it, and the mixture really, really, really works out. And I think that, you know, when we come together, the music that we make together is just like the best music that we make. We both have talked about that. Like you know, I love writing on my own, and I love, you know, the songs that I've written on my own. But like when I write with Phineas, it's just like, it's different. And I think he's said the same thing. It's just like a whole different thing.
What changes? Like when you write with Phineas, he has like a melody, a beat, and you write over it, or you both write over it. Like what's the difference between the process?
It changes a lot. Usually the kind of, like if we were to sit down and I think that what we would naturally do is usually like Phineas sits down and plays some chords on the piano or the guitar, and I will just start singing melodies and coming up with lyrics, and then he'll take a melody that I sang and then start singing it, and then he'll say a lyric, and then I'll say a lyric, and then he'll say a lyric, and then, you know, we just bounce off of each other. And it's hard to like point out who's doing what, because it's so collaborative and it's so simultaneous that we're really both, it's just, this is happening. It's really like a back and forth constantly. And so to say like, oh, he does this and I do this is just false, because we both do all of it. And it's really, it's become like the way that we've gotten it to be is really amazing. I think that, you know, we've come a long way and we've done it at different ways over the years. And I think that where we're at now feels really good. And I feel like now I actually like making music and I'm good at it now, and it's awesome. It feels really good.
That's great. What you enjoy the most about making music? Like, do you like the performative aspect or the writing aspect? You prefer studio life or tour life?
It's changed. It's changed over the years. I do really love performing. I love being on stage, and I love performing my songs. I don't know, there's something really special about it. Tour is like a lot, so it's not like tour life I like, but I like doing shows, so it's like can't have one without the other. But in terms of making music, it's just really satisfying. It can be really punishing and challenging, but it's very, very satisfying at the end. And I think that now that I'm better at it, I like it a lot more. And I honestly, to be real, I think that I always had it in me. And also when I say I wasn't good at it, like I wrote a bunch of songs that we put out. So it's like, you know, it's not like super fair to my younger self.
You had a really high standard.
I did. And my brother was 14. Genuinely a genius and always has been. So it was just like a lot to live up to. But he never made me feel like that. That was all like internal. But yeah, I don't know what I was saying. Anyway.
When you're writing an album, do you think of concept like a concept for the whole album, or do you just focus on songs individually?
We've done both.
Okay.
With this album, we tried to go into it with a concept album idea, and then we ended up writing a very autobiographical album. But in a way, even though it's very honest, it kind of is a concept album. Like it feels like it has a theme.
Yeah.
So it's kind of subconscious in a way.
Yes, so it's something that you realize that you did like in hindsight, not in the moment, right?
Yes, yeah, subconscious.
Yeah,
I love that.
You realize that you can only write about yourself. Like that's you can try to write about other people, but you eventually end up writing about yourself, right?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because so much of the stuff that Phineas and I thrive in is when we write about other things that aren't necessarily us. And like, that's a big thing we talk about, is that we really love to write storytelling songs. Like, we like fictional songs, and we love to write about things. And that's why we love writing for film, because it's not us. It's like we get a prompt and we can write about it. But it is true that, like, even when you're writing about something else and someone else's situation, and
it's a mirror. Yeah,
it's kind of a mirror. And even if it's not about you, you are still saying it, and it's still coming from you. So it is you in a way, even if it's about someone else. It's true. It is true.